Mishpancinco au Teshpa Omenewan. Primeramente, salutations, respectations, saludos y respetos going out to everyone. You guys already know, I gotta drink my Chanatiuskis. Boy! Ah, Warishi, Cafecito, Popocatepec. Check it. So, as many of you should know by now, I did a tour of the Pintilla system in the beautiful state of California. I was entrenched in the pandilla style vida, gangster vida, gang life here in the beautiful city of Oxnard, Ventura County, subsection El Río Gangotota, que desde siempre ha controlado Cubitas. So, anyways, look, in the midst of being a low-level criminal, if you could say that, I was a low-level criminal. You know what I'm saying? Not like that type of criminal, you know? Not like the rapper criminal, you know what I mean? I was a little bit more gangster than that. Nah, puro pedo. I can never proclaim to be a gangster because that is not for me to say. So, Cubitas. So, I was right there in the oil, right there in Wasco in the validated section, A section, cell 206, uh, 2007. And con eso dicho y establecido, I get kicked out the oil and I go to Ironwood. Con eso dicho y establecido, I'm in A section, validated section in the oil in Wasco, and my co-defendant appealed the write-up and he beat it. So by him beating it, everybody that was involved beat it. So we all got kicked out. And I ended up in a level 3 Ironwood. So I go to Ironwood, right? My first Celly was Ishe Scrappy from Pico Viejo. That's the Celly I had. That wasn't my first Celly there, but that's the Celly I had that leads to this historia. ¿Me entiendes, Méndez? O te explicáis, Federicáis. Boy. So, anyways, this vato, he was a little bit older than me, and he had a TV, he had tubo, televisión, you know what I mean? And he went home, and mind you, we're in four building, dog. And he had a primo named Champ from Pico Viejo in one building. I ended up meeting his brother. His brother's a good friend of me. Shout out to my boy Chunky. Chunky from Pico Viejo. That's a good friend of mine. But anyways, Champ was in one building, right? For those of you that were busted around that time, tú sabes, ahí estaba en la 1, I was in la 4. Half of 4 building was the oil, regardless. We were low in numbers, you know? So I go to the Yardita, right? And I approach Champ, right? And when I approach Champ, a gang of fools got up, and I was like, oh, he's got to kill him that day, you know? And I was like, hey, hombre, con permiso, my name is Maniak de la Rio Chiquis, homie. Are you Champ? It's like, Simon, homie, who's asking? So I tell me, look, I was set up with Scrappy, your primo, and he told me to give you the TV, you know? I have it right there. So he asked me, do you have a TV or what? And I told him, nah. But you know, I'm a violator also. I should be going home, you know, in unos 6 meses, more or less, you know. He said, I don't trip, homie, just keep it right there. And when you leave, let me know. Let me know if I don't get it within a month or 2, you can have it. You can don't even worry about it. You can keep it. Keep the TV, homie. So I was all happy. Now I have a tubo. I'm a violator. I got a tubo. Felt happy. So I got my locker stacked up, homes, with the gang of cosmetics. I got a paquetón. I want a tienda. So I'm feeling good, dog. And then I see a bunch of fools on jumpsuits coming in, right? And this older homie comes in. That was the first Celly that I've ever had that had been down a long time, homie. You know what I mean? So he comes in, dog, and I'm smiling right there because I got a Celly, dog. I'm like, yeah, I got a Celly, dog, yeah. So this fool comes in like real humble, like, hey, what's going on, homeboy? Soy el boo, homie de la Cuatro Flats. And I was like, hey, what's up, homie? Maniak, homie de la Rio, homie. Chique, ahí, cubita. Hey, uh, look, my boy, you look a little bit older than me. You can have the bottom rack if you want. That's on you. Some people like bottom rack, some people like top rack. I can't tell nobody what to do, you know what I mean? So I tell him, hey, you can have the bottom rack if you want. And he's like, nah. We good. We good. He's all like, and I tell him, hey, look, get one of each. Matter of fact, I grabbed that little puño and bam. And I gave him whatever I could, some toothpaste, deodorant. He didn't have his property yet, so I gave him everything he needed. And he was appreciative of that. And so next thing you know, a bunch of folks start coming to the door, and he had already been down. So I don't know, he had a lot of love from a lot of people there, and they brought all kinds of stuff to the front of the door. I was like, what? So they brought some a bunch of stuff and a bunch of food, and we're watching right there America's Most Wanted. I remember watching America's Most Wanted, and his homeboy Smilon de la Cuatro came out on America's Most Wanted, and it was crazy, though, and he introduced me to prison nachos. He put 2 bags of chips on the rack, put 2 bags of chips, and then put some chili beans, blam, 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 blam. More chili beans. Put some little bit of frijoles, blam, blam, blam. He put uh, jalapenos, cheese squeeze, a little bit of lemon. He hooked it up, a little bit of carnita. He said, this right here is prison nachos, homie. You ever had them? And I'm like, no, I'm hungry. So I'm right there, bam, 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 having a good old time. And he told me he had been down 16 years. And he had been in the oil for a while, not for a while, but like for at least maybe like a year or a little bit longer, maybe around that time when he was my Sally. And so he asked me like, well, I've been down 16 years. How's the guy is right now? Should be doing out there. So I'm not gonna say it's sad to say that because that's the way I was living. I don't really know much outside of my barrio. So I didn't really know too much. I never had oysters before. Never had oysters. Come to find out, my first time having oysters is in the Pitilla, Ironwood, AR, 2007. And for those that are going to start net banging y todo eso, back in those days, homie, there wasn't even no such thing as SNYs in Ironwood. Maybe in the oil, but all 4 yards were good. All 4 yards in Centinela were good. Back then, there was some yards had 1 yard that was SNY. It's not like right now, you know what I mean? So before you even go there, so anyways, look, dog, we're right there, and the homie broke out. Hey, check it out. I got my property. You say you never had oysters, so I'm gonna introduce you to some oysters, right? So I was like, yeah, so he pulled out a bunch of pouches, dog, hooked me up a bowl, hooked himself up a bowl, put some limoncito, broke out some bags of chips. You know what I'm saying? And that was my first time having oysters in the Pitia. Cholo Juan reporting all the way live on having oysters for the first time, being introduced to oysters by a good homie from Cuatro Flats. Uh, Time does go by, people do change. At the time, that's what it was. I don't know what it is now, but I do remember the oysters. Ahí estaba el vago from Cuatro. He was young like me. He was maybe a little bit older, but he was young like me. He was doing some time. There was an older homie named Night Owl from Cuatro as well, you know. And I remember they had a homeboy in a different yard because my Celly had share that with me, you know. Pero that was my little experience being introduced to oysters for the very first time in the Pitilla by the homie from Cuatro Flats. Ese boo boo